Hey everybody, Dr. Andrew Blackwood here, also known as Coach Drew, and I am taking advantage of this moment. I got an extra 45 minutes of sleep or something like that, and oh my good God, thank you so much. We're turning a corner with this sleep thing, and I'm really, really happy about it. For those of you who don't know, I have a 3-year-old who wakes up in between 2:30 and 3:30 and wants me to help her get back to sleep, whether because she's had a bad dream or she's uncomfortable, or she just wants comfort. And but then I have a hard time getting back to sleep, and then I'm up for hours just thinking, and then the day starts, and I'm homeschooling, kind of, sort of, and these children have found this energy, and I'm 43, so I don't have that same kind of energy. I need my sleep. Anyhow, I got 45 minutes extra, and I am excited about all that I'm learning, and I want to share a little bit of that with you while I have this moment. I have been sharing a program that I've developed and am developing. It's called 7 Days, Growing Deeper in Our Faith, and I'm walking through 7 days with men as a way to really deeply immerse ourselves in Scripture. And I'm learning so much as I engage with these men of substance, and they've got so much to offer, and I am so glad to be helping them see this. And one of the analogies that this gentleman that I met with today shared with me, some people speak in metaphors, and it's just so powerful. I don't always do that, but I love hearing when people do. And he was describing this experience, 7 days, because what we do is we take one scripture and we focus on that scripture. And we read that scripture every day for that week with different questions to engage deeper in the scripture. And he was saying that, what he is no longer interested in at this point in time is just washing his hands in the scripture and then going back to what he was doing. This process is like immersing himself in it and soaking it in. And I'm like, yeah, that's good. This is like taking a bath with essential oils and, Epsom salt and whatever you want every day in particular scriptures, and reflecting in a way that really moves the word from up here to in here and then out into our lives in very tangible and practical ways. So amidst that, what I am learning about myself, because today is day 7 of the 7 days, and just looking back at my week, I've learned so much. And as I shared in my last video about being in this dark place, a place that is uncomfortable, a place that used to have the potential, maybe still does, to be a very depressing place. A place where I'm pressed by life situations, but also by internal situations and conflict and indecision. And I realized that my all or nothing thinking, which I've talked about in other videos, which anybody who deals with any degree of anxiety, they probably use all or nothing thinking. I have had, a tendency to engage in all or nothing thinking. I would make rules out of principles. And as a coach, a therapist, a father, a leader, I've heard that good leaders and good leadership is decisive. Good leaders make quick decisions and they stick with them. And as much as I have wanted to make a rule out of that and become more decisive, I'm realizing that as I reflect on my journaling over this week, I was dealing with a situation and I was indecisive about it. And by staying in this place and allowing myself to wrestle and go back and forth, I learned so much. And one of the things I learned was you can't be honest about things that you're not aware of. And for me, I was really hard on myself about some decisions I had made before because they weren't honest. I won't take the time to unpack it today because it will make this video too long. But the point I want to get to is by staying in this place and learning to access peace in this place and cultivate peace in this place and ask these questions, I discovered why I was being indecisive, why I was oscillating from this choice to this choice to this choice. And it's not because I am an indecisive person. It's because there was an internal conflict that was so deep and I couldn't see it. That it made it impossible for me to be honest because I really wasn't aware of what was going on. And now that I'm aware, I'm like, oh, okay, now I know what I want. Now I know what I'm not going to commit to. And that's been really, really helpful. It's been really, really helpful. So I will summarize in this moment because it is just about time to transition. I know the girls are going to be up soon. What I'm learning and I'm grateful for is it's okay to be here where I am at this point in my life. I don't want to be hurried by worry and try to race on and be the future version of myself. There's so much value woven into who I am and where I am in this moment. And no longer am I trying to just get through the day. I want to experience the wealth of today. And I want to encourage you to consider that as well. To consider making space in your day, in your moment, in your devotional prayer time, whatever you want to call it, to ask yourself those questions. What's moving me? What's motivating me? What's really going on here? I know I said I was going to wrap up, but I want to give you a tool or a strategy that I'm now using as I make decisions. Because there have been themes in my life that have moved me to hurry because I was worried. So, series of questions I now ask myself as good opportunities come my way. I ask myself, is this something that I need to do? And the truth is, very rarely do I ever need to do anything. But that mindset that I need to do this, I have to do this, I should do this, it would move me to act without sufficient consideration. So do I need to do this versus do I want to do this? Another good question that a mentor of mine mentioned is, does this spark joy? Will doing this, will saying yes to this spark joy for me? Another question is this about money? Is this motivated by money? And I can't just say that, I won't just say that and not give you the context. The context around that for me is, that scripture that says the love of money is the root of all evil. Well, I used to think the love of money was just a fondness for it, a desire for it. But I've discovered as it relates to me, I defined money as survival. I equated it with survival. Money equals survival. If I didn't have it, I wouldn't survive. I need this. So there was a reliance upon it. There was a belief that if I didn't have it, and I wasn't able to just, get it. Like, I needed it. I didn't have enough. I never had enough. I didn't have enough. I won't have enough. So I've got to, acquire. And that was part of my motivation and my hurry and worry. And now I realize, no, money is important. And even on some levels, it can be a necessity. But it is a commodity. It is a resource. It is not the source. It is not the sustainer of all things. That's God, So putting that in its place and now having this question in place as I consider choices that I make, is this about money, right? Is that my motivation? Is fear my motivation, right? Fear of loss, fear of consequence. Is that my motivation? And by asking myself those questions, it leads me to a place of better contemplation, right? What is this opportunity about? How am I going to give? Does this tap into my core values? How long is this going to last? And the last question that I asked myself is this recreating a problem that I don't want to have? And I've been too busy for too many years to enjoy the wealth of all the good stuff around me. So those are the questions that I ask myself. They may be relevant for you, but this is just an example of the good stuff that's coming out of the 7 days program that I am in, that I'm immersed in. So yeah, I went on far too long, far longer than I intended. Maybe not too long, but longer than I intended. Anyhow, as usual, it's been a pleasure. Let me know what you think, and I hope it's relevant for you. And until we connect next, continue to learn, heal, and grow.